Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd fuck off.
Burr, 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 burr. Way better than Richie's intro.
I hate this guy. I want him to die.
Hey, you guys, we got some new stuff in the background. Look at me. I found some nails.
It's crazy you got off your lazy fucking ass and did something for once.
Thanks, Richard.
You're welcome.
I got some nails up, and I even found a new box for Yoshi.
Hell yeah.
Liliana the Veil's there, and some.
We should make it a
Jace.
thing to like change this up every now and again.
Change the boxes out.
Just the background in general.
Yeah, I like that.
Keep it freaky fresh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not Happy Monday, but it's Happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. And for those of you that are watching in future on the YouTube, hello and welcome. We had an event this past Monday. Dance for him, Richie. Richie was in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Nice. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. And he was playing in the team event. And he actually won the entire thing. His team won. So congratulations, Richie. Good job. Just spoiler, they didn't get there. But they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I asked. And he had a good time.
Our record will probably be about the same as yours will be next weekend.
Oh, God, I'm going to get fucking Dunkarooed on. But I like getting Dunkarooed on.
Yeah?
Yeah, I enjoy playing.
Good for you.
I'm gonna go out to Indy next weekend, stay with the fam.
Nice.
And
I thought you were staying with like Terrence and Josiah and.
No, well, Josiah and my brother are gonna be there, and the wife is coming also. She's actually not gonna go to the event, of course, because she doesn't magical in any shape or form.
Is she gonna get on the pedal pub again?
No, I don't think she's gonna run a pedal pub by herself. But
what about her sister?
Yeah, her sister's gonna be there. They're probably gonna do.
Pedal
They
pub.
they do like really absurd female shit. They go downtown and they get like candles, and they go and drink wine, and yeah, they're just like they're like 70-year-old women trapped in 30-year-old bodies.
Nice.
Yeah, so
maybe Josiah should hang out with them instead of playing Magic. I think you'd have a good time.
He would. He would.
Love you if you're here, Josiah.
Yeah. Well, so this week we will be going over the SCG results, and we're going to give you guys a little recap about the cards that we talked about last week, which were the Throne of Eldraine.
Yeah.
Which is also, in fact, our giveaway for the month.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're giving away a box.
Look at
it. So we're giving away a box of Throne of Eldraine.
Everyone on SoundCloud, just imagine looking at our overlay.
Yeah, imagine our overlay and seeing a box of Throne of Eldraine, because it's gorgeous.
I can't get over these pictures. They're great.
Yeah, so that's our thumbnail. And so the way that you win, if you're listening on SoundCloud or future YouTubers, you could go follow back in the description below and go to our Mom's Basement streams on Twitch. That's number one. And you could follow us. Number two, you could subscribe to us using Amazon Prime, which is free to you, or you can just pay the subscription fee, which whatever that is, and you'll get a second one. And Richie's on 4, but no, we're on 3. And if you if you go to our Patreon, Mom's Basement Games Patreon, and you want to help support us, you get a third entry into that free box that we're going to be giving away, which we give away a box about every month here, so.
Yeah, it's something. It's not always a box.
Yeah, it's
Last
something.
time it was Commander decks.
Yeah,
First time it was Goyfs.
Yeah, we gave away 4 Commander decks last.
Next month it's gonna be Yoshi.
Oh man, I hope not.
Have we done this for the stream?
No, actually we haven't. So Yoshi makes a noise. So
it's great.
That's an okay story. I mean, I went with my daughter to Build-A-Bear. And of course, I had to be.
They said you're already one. Why do you need to build one?
Yeah, they're like, come on, guy, you're a bear. There's a lot of guys out here in this mall that would want to, stuff you full of. Anyway, so I was at the Build-A-Bear, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be a cool dad and get a Yoshi. And then you could also insert a voice recording. And so, yeah. And so I inserted my Yoshi noise, which was, "Wah, Yoshi!" And I thought it was really good. So, forever, maybe my daughter will have that when I die.
Mm-hmm.
The next few years of diabetes or something like that. So,
Listen, you're not Brandon.
she'll have that forever. And she can also go back on YouTube and watch this video.
Yeah. Which, you know what her favorite segment's probably going to be?
What? Me
Fun
talking.
facts.
Oh, I bet she's going to love the fun facts in the future.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be like, man, my dad was, he was so cool with all his really awesome fun facts. All right, hit him,
Except
Richie.
she's going to be talking about me, not you.
Yeah. You're the more handsome of the two?
No. But I'm the one with the fun facts.
You are. All right,
about slivers.
So this week...
And other random cards
yeah,
from
all of our
future sight.
All of our facts this week are keywords. So hit them, Richie. What are the keywords?
So absorb 1, which is if a source would deal damage to a sliver, prevent 1 of that damage. Frenzy 1, which is whenever a sliver attacks and isn't blocked, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn, which, if I'm not mistaken, you played this on stream.
I did play this card on stream. This card's pretty lit.
This card...
I mean, it's pseudo +1.
It's a sliver.
It's a silver that costs 2. And it's like... It's probably... I think it's one of the only slivers that's like a +1, but not +1/+1 to the team. So it's really weird.
Gravestorm, which is when you cast this spell, copy it for each permanent put into a graveyard this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. Most Commander players probably know this card from somewhere.
I've been bitter ordealed out of the game several times in my life.
Probably by what's that guy, Shroom?
Yeah, Shroom will get you. Yeah, absolutely, because you just
copy it.
Yeah, there's whatever goes into the graveyard.
The copy artifact, and then you put the actual Shroom in and diddle yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you diddle, and then And then
like this guy. This guy's gotten diddled before.
Yeah, Flesh Ritherer. Man, I wish you guys that are listening could actually see this picture. It looks really nutty. It's like 2 bodies, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and the keyword on this one is transfigure, which is sacrifice this creature, search your library for a creature card with the same converted mana cost as this creature, and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. You can only transfigure as a sorcery. So this is like transmute, except for creatures in play.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it's a sack outlet, first of all. And then it's also, hey, go get my combo piece.
Well, it's not a sack outlet itself. You sacrifice it. You can't just sacrifice anything.
Oh, I thought it was pay 3 for this card like a tutor, also sacrifice a creature and then search your library.
No, you sacrifice this creature, yeah.
I got
sacrifice the Flesh Rider.
Got it. Nice. So our keywords that were only used one time were Absorb, Frenzy, Gravestorm, and Transfigure, which is pretty cool. I didn't actually know that. I feel like there's more keywords that haven't been used more than once, but
they've done a good job at going back and reusing a lot of those keywords.
Yeah. All right, so this is our second favorite portion of our podcast, which is
we go to
sliver. momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com and we check and see if we have any.
You're lucky. I love this game so much. I'll let you get the shill in while I do it.
So Limp Sliver. Lipstick Sliver.
We have a lot of Frenzy
slivers. We
have
1 in stock. We've got, and that's the Absorb 1. Then we got the Frenzy guy. We got 3 of them.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Nice. All right, Bitter Ordeal. There's no way we got any of these in stock. Ordeal. Ordeal.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
Oh.
What do we got?
Come on, you can do it. I believe in you.
This thing. 0.
All right, and then
what's the last one? Flesh. Witherer? Is it Witherer?
No clue.
There he is. Holy God. Flesh. Rither.
How don't we have any of those?
I can't even get my mouth to form that. Writher.
I'll help you form that with your mouth later.
Oh, okay, thank you. After the podcast?
Yeah. But, yeah, so go to momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com if you Want to get yourself some silvers.
Silvers. I got my silver deck ready to go, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
going down to Kentucky to play in an SCG.
All right. Now that Josh is done, making sure we have no Kentucky or Sliver player viewers anymore, how about we hop into what decks people will play that listen to us?
My brother loves slivers. I got to make fun of him too.
Look, it's fine.
All right,
We all
standard.
make fun of your brother.
Yeah, we do. All right.
So, fuck standard right now. Let me just get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me earlier today. So we talked about, Richie and I, we always try to get our little recap in of the previous weekend. And of course, Pittsburgh-Adelphia, where the team went this weekend, and they played a standard deck, which was, what was it, Richie? What was your
We
standard
played the Bant Golos deck, which is actually the deck that ended up winning the tournament.
deck? Wow. Well, at
So-
least you were onto something.
Yeah, our list was a little different. Like, we didn't have any Okos.
Yeah, that thing is insane to
But-
get right now, right?
Well, it wasn't so much that we couldn't get it. Just we thought the deck was better without it, or we weren't 100% sure on that card.
Gotcha.
We went pretty close to what Brad Nelson played of this deck, and we just kind of played his list. So
Okay, so Jonathan Rossum, he took first place in the Open with
Yeah.
Bant Golos.
yeah, and this deck is, I presume by next BNR announcement, something from this deck will be banned, because if you even just like, I understand it's week 1, but let's see.
Yeah, I see. all of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 8 decks were Golos decks.
And then, of course, if you scroll down a little bit further, you're still seeing
Yeah.
some Golos
And
action.
notably, the only person to not top 8 with Golos is Matt Nass.
Okay.
So,
The wizard himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
top 8'd with pretty cool pretty cool Simic midrange deck, which a lot of people were actually talking about. This card right here, Questing Beast, which we did not have on our list, but we talked about.
I lost that thing online 2 weeks ago. So if you want to recap that, that was the Elves player that I was telling you about that hoofed me through an Eidolon.
Hot.
The
That's
hottest. And I think he turned 3, poked me with Questing Beast, and then he got in for Xaxes turn 4.
Do you
through the
think
Eidolon.
Questing Beast is real in Legacy?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the Elves players are playing it. It's really good because it kind of helps, I think, a little bit. It gives them a little more reach with the Ren and 6 decks.
Yeah.
Because the Questing Beast is haste, vigilance, death touch. 4/4.
No. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste.
Yeah, I just said it different.
Oh, okay.
And
then it's got about 200 more words on it?
yeah, it's got about 13 more keyword abilities there, but it can't be blocked by your 2 or less, which is
actually the reasoning why this card is like, what everyone's saying is like the only counter to Golos is to play a Questing Beast deck.
Oh, okay.
Because you can block the zombies from Field of the Dead.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so is that the card that you think is going to be banned? Is that just the Field of the Dead?
I think if they ban something, it will be Field.
Okay.
There's a chance we see the meta adjust, but it's pretty. Seeing a result like this, especially because like people don't have a lot of time to prepare for these tournaments.
Yeah.
So to see this much domination in the main event
In week 1.
and in week 1, and then you hop over to the Classic and you see pretty close to the same thing, not as much Golos, but you got to think most of them were probably
Well, those
still in the main
motherfuckers
event.
were dunking on people
Yeah.
in the main event, so they didn't have time to lose in the main event and go over to
the Classic.
the Classic. Yeah, so yeah, that is kind of that's something I haven't thought
The
about.
mirrors are also the most abysmal thing to watch I've ever seen.
Yeah, is it like game 1s?
Yeah, like literally, Gavin finished maybe 2 rounds
On time.
when he was in the mirror, and every game 1, like all the other game 1s ended in like 10 minutes on the clock.
Got it. Yeah. Well, hey, at least we know where standard's at. So if you guys are looking to play standard, you absolutely will know, hey, I need to be on Golos, or I need to be on Golos-esque deck. Or if I don't want to play that, then what was the other?
Questing Beast.
Questing Beast deck.
Yeah, not necessarily just Simic, because like Aaron Barrich won the Classic with a really cool Selesnya Adventures deck.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
so you really want to be on some form of aggressive Questing Beast deck, or you want to be on Golos.
Okay, cool.
So that's pretty much it for Standard. Not much to talk about. A couple other decks in the top 8. Simic Flash ended up top 8ing, but I didn't really hear much else about this deck from this weekend. From what I heard, it was pretty poor positioned against Golos.
Yeah.
The Jeskai Fires deck is a really interesting deck in the fact that it gets the double spell every turn because of Fires of Invention, which is a 4-mana enchantment for a red and 3 colorless that you can only cast spells during your turn, and you can only cast 2 spells, but you can cast them for free equal to your number of lands you control.
Nice.
And then this deck doesn't really play a sideboard because it plays Fae of Wishes, which is the tutor we talked about, we had on our list.
Yep.
And then, yeah, just some more Adventures decks on top of that, and Golos, actually. So, shout out to Jameson Purdue, by the way. He's a Michigan player. I was actually talking to him on and off throughout the tournament. He ended up top 16 in the Classic.
Nice.
So,
Congrats, brother.
yeah, so that's where Standard is right now. Golos or Questing Beast, that's about as far as your choices go, in my opinion.
Okay.
Moving on to Modern, we're going to combine our main topic and our results are kind of combined because of the fact that, we want to talk about Eldraine and how it's impacted all the formats.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually going to start by talking about this Amulet Titan list by Matt Dilks, who is notably, when you think of Amulet players, he's one of the guys. If people are like, oh, who should I listen to for Amulet? You get, Matt Dilks is probably the first name to come out, honestly.
Okay.
And his new iteration is actually playing no backup win condition. You only really have the Titan, other than you do have Field of the Dead in your main deck.
Yep.
To make zombies.
I've lost to that card.
And then he actually has a couple cards from the new set. So he has 2 Castle Garen Briggs, which a lot of people talked about as being essentially a ancient tomb almost for for creatures. So works really well with Primeval Titan. Turns your 5 mana into 6 mana. Which also made him have to play a couple of breeding pools for some more forests in the deck. And then he's also playing 4 copies of Once Upon a Time.
Nice.
Along with the Ancient Stirrings. Ooh. So instead of playing a backup win condition, he's just trying to go all in on finding Titan as much and as consistently as possible.
I like that. I mean, finding Titan is just so strong.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's what this deck really wants to do is, it just wants to prime time people.
Yep. And what was the backup win condition before? Was that just the pack?
It varied. So some people would play the Hive Mind. Karn was the most recent one that a lot of people were playing.
Oh yeah, they just Karn Michael Synth Lattice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some lists played a couple extra creatures like a Hornet Queen and a Walking Ballista in the main.
Yeah.
So it varied. Lists were This deck is very, and it's something funny I was talking about with Steve this weekend because, as you know, Steve is a big fan of foils for this deck.
Yeah.
And he was like, watch, I'm going to finally get this deck all foiled,
yep.
And all of a sudden a new list is going to come out, and sure enough, he was right. Matt Dilks taking it down with the Once Upon a Time version, which is actually the version we've seen a lot of in the top 8 as well.
So since Steve played this weekend, correct?
He did not play the Once Upon a Time version.
Well, sure, but I mean, he played Amulet Titan.
Yeah.
So what did he say? Did he say, well, this is a significantly better list, or he needs to test it, or what did he think?
He just wants to test it.
Okay.
He's very much a person that wants to put evidence down before stating opinions.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just want to if there's cards that are new, I'm not going to just be like, well, I'm just going to play this. I'm just going to play this list. I want to test it and see okay, does this feel right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, on top of that, second place is the next deck that we were going to talk about, which is Paradoxical Urza. Which, this deck is really interesting because it was the deck that everybody kind of said was the best quote-unquote deck.
Before it even came out.
Well,
right?
Kind of. Originally, it was Urza. everybody thought Urza was the best deck.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's basically the same deck, correct? I mean,
No, they actually play very differently.
okay.
Like one is a toolboxy, almost prison deck, to where this is a pure combo deck. Like this plays almost like a vintage deck.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about last week with Emery, Lurker of the Lock, with you just saying that this card is super busted, and I mean, we'll see what happens with this list. Again, like you talked about, there may be a piece that needs to go from this.
My
Need
prediction
to go soon. I don't know.
My prediction is this deck will, within 6 months to a year, we will see a Mox Opal ban.
Well, that's what
and
everybody's saying.
It will probably not be enough, and we will eventually see Urza get banned.
Yeah.
I think Urza and Hogak were... So Modern Horizons, and I've talked to people about this a lot, it was a very good set. It was designed very well. A lot of the cards were the perfect power level, but a couple things snuck by. And I think the main things were Hogak and Urza.
Yeah, I think Urza's really... it's just really tough.
Do you want to go ahead and read Urza for our audience?
Do you want me to? Yeah, I'd love to.
There might be some people who don't know what Urza is.
Urza Lord High Artificer, if you guys don't know what this is, well, you need to come out from under your rock because this card's nutty. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token, and that says this creature gets +1 for each artifact you control. So a lot of times you're just going to be... I'll read the second part in just a second. But a lot of times you're just going to be throwing out Mox Opals, Mox Ambers, casting Arkham's Astrolabe right off the rip. So when he does come down,
for even 0 to +1 mana off those two.
Yeah, so you're buffing up the creature that it puts into play, while also moving forward with your game plan, while also adding mana to your mana pool with these things. So the sheer I don't know, the synergy of it is really, really out of control. So then the next portion is tap an untapped artifact you control, add a blue mana to your mana pool. That's pretty nutty. Then you can pay 5, shuffle your library, exile the top card, and until the end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. So this card on its own basically just turns a corner, and I think the issue is that they made it 4 CMC, right? I mean, I think if you make this 5 or 6, I think you're out of the woods at that point.
I think at 5 it's still too good.
Yeah, maybe at 5 it's still too good, but it still gives those really fast decks an extra turn.
I just think... So I talked to a lot of people about this weekend. If Urza gave the artifacts the ability to tap for blue instead of himself tapping the artifact for blue, so that way Stony Silence could stop the engine.
Yeah, the interaction.
That this card would probably be fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that it, on its own, lets these decks play around or like beat because it gives them a big body, and it lets them still use their artifacts through Stony Silence, I think is what really pushed this card over the edge.
Yeah, and so the thing is when you look at this card, like fundamentally, just take a look at it. And you try to prepare a sideboard for this card. This is what I spent some time doing last night, looking at, okay, say, how do I beat this card? How do I beat this deck? Do I have the ability to race it? Well, sometimes you don't even have the ability to race it if you're on the draw, right? So
the thing I've seen a lot of lists going to be able to deal with Urza even is like Dismember, because it's one of the only instant speed removal spells that kills Urza.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's other things too. You know, you can try your best to Thoughtseize this out of their hand.
I mean, if they draw it, like, you're fucked.
Yeah, and so they have a lot of, they have cantrips. So that card could be hiding in there. But this is, when people say, well, I think this deck's going to get abandoned. And we've been talking about this since the first podcast that we did months ago, and which we're on episode 19. It's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've just been saying, like, this is going to be the best deck, if not in the top 5. And it's shown that it is the best deck. And now they're printing more cards to take this deck over the edge. And people are brewing, and they're playing Paradoxical Outcome now. They're like, fuck the first combo that we had, which was amazing. Let's just combo harder on people, which is insane. So this deck, I also believe that this deck will see a ban, and I don't know if it'll be any of the Moxes. I think Urza just gets the axe.
I think they've been waiting for a reason to ban Opal. I think it's gonna kind of be like the Faithless Looting thing, where like they have a problem card, but they're also gonna use this as an excuse to get rid of a card that they probably should have banned a long time ago.
So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, let's ban Mox Opal, and then the deck's still insane, and they're like, well, sorry guys, just like how Hogak went.
Yeah, they banned Bridge, and then they banned, Hogak and Looting.
Yeah, I can see that happening again.
Yeah. Interesting fact, do you know who came up with this deck?
I would say Matt Nass.
Nope. Close, though.
LSV?
Yep. LSV came up with this deck.
Maybe I heard somebody say that.
Because he wanted to play Vintage and Modern.
God. That man.
On top of Emery, she's not the only new card in this deck, as they've been going to Oko in the sideboard also, as just a good way to beat Burn. As you mentioned earlier, you said you had a hell of a time against this card. Just like it's an answer to Eidolon, it's a way to gain life. It also just like answers troublesome permanents.
So when you create a food token, are you gaining the life at that time?
No, you just gotta
crack it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this deck has like a lot of incidental mana.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, this deck also the original versions of this deck were blue white. They've recently gone to Sultai, and like I said, added the Oko, but also started playing like Collective Brutalities. So
yeah, this seems like a really miserable matchup for Burn. Even if like let's say they sideboard in Okos, right, and I bring in the card that we talked about today, which was Leyline of Punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, okay, here, deal with this card. I still don't know if I can fight through their combo.
Yeah.
I need what? When they make a million dudes?
Well, this deck, I guess it does make dudes.
Yeah, when they make a bunch of dudes, then maybe I Rakdos Charm them, but I'm probably dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And then what? You play a board wipe, and then they're just going to start it all over again with Paradoxical Outcome?
Yeah.
So it's like almost like you need to be able to stop the Paradoxical Outcome. You need to be playing. I think blue-white will probably see like more of a uptick, maybe.
But you're having an abysmal time against their grind plan.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you're just gonna have to. I just don't know what deck beats this deck, to be honest. I think like the mono red prowess, that the deck that you just 5-0'd with a couple weeks ago, maybe that deck.
Yeah, I was 3-2 against this. To put on the map, like this is a brand new deck.
Yeah.
Like this deck. Like, there were versions of it that seen play, but, like, this exact deck with, like, the Emerys and everything has literally just became legal, and I faced 5 people on it in an open.
Yeah.
So, that says a lot about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I 3-2'd against it because if they ever just chain engineered explosives, like, good luck beating that with most aggro decks.
Yeah, you just get 2 for 1.
Like, yeah, you can try to burn them out, but they're killing all of your dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw that there was Wishclaw Talisman, and that's another one.
Yeah.
That's the one that you had as an honorable mention?
Yeah, this was a cute addition in his list that not many... that I think he was the only one that played, because you can activate it, hold priority, and Paradoxical Outcome, so that they don't get the Talisman. I think this is probably too cute, and I'd rather see like another Everflowing Chalice or the 4th Witching Well. This card is actually insane in this deck.
Oh, nice.
This is a card from Eldraine we didn't actually talk about.
Okay.
So it's a 1... I would have never thought that this card would be that good, honestly.
Okay.
It's a 1 blue artifact that when it enters the battlefield, you scry 2. And then for 4 mana, sack it, you can draw 2 cards.
Okay. So it's almost like a... it's a reverse, but better. What's that one where you cycle it for 1 blue? The one that doesn't get played in blue-white anymore? It's sort of like that.
It's kind of like that, but it's like a better Serum Visions for this deck.
Okay.
Because when this deck's going, it just needs more cards. It really doesn't have a problem with mana.
It's Hieroglyphic Illumination that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's Hieroglyphic you're thinking of.
So it's almost like the reverse card, that just better. because you actually get to scry.
Yeah, it's a lot more like Serum Visions, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's used to set up early, but like it does have that like
Well, I'm just seeing like the 4 here
yeah
to crack it to draw 2 cards, and then you got the 1 blue. You know,
Yeah.
so that was kind of like where my
yeah,
mind
yeah.
went.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Notably, they chose Next of Fate as their win con instead of the. We've been seeing some of us play Grinding Station.
Oh yeah.
Next is just a good alternate win con in my opinion.
Because Grinding Station just mills you out, right?
Yeah. But like with this, you just take an extra turn and kill them.
Yep.
It gets around like annoying artifact hate, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the Nexus. Yeah, this deck's really powerful, and I think we're gonna see a lot of it going forward as you see like 3 copies of it in second, third, and fourth for the modern seat.
Yep.
And then fifth is actually the. Funny enough, a lot of the top 8 had a lot of the lists I wanted to talk about with Throne of Eldraine cards.
Yeah. So I actually made it into a list finally. Ginger Brute.
Get out.
Yeah. That's me. Look at these muscles. Touch them, Richie. They're.
Yeah, I mean your arms are that flimsy, you're right.
If I hold out too long, the flab's gonna go.
But yeah. So 5th place was Affinity by Ryan Gasway, who I actually know he's a really good guy in the SCG circuit. So shout out to you, Ryan. Congrats again on the top 8. And he's known as the Affinity aficionado.
Okay.
He plays Affinity in Modern. He plays the Steel Stompy, which is basically Affinity in Legacy.
Oh boy, he hates himself.
He just loves himself some Arcbound Ravagers.
Oh yeah.
He actually loves Vault Scourge the most.
Really?
Yeah. So a fun story about him. He was telling me about this weekend. Where he's from, they do monthly charity legacy events.
Mm-hmm.
And the top 8 prize is a custom playmat.
Okay.
That the person who won the year or the last charity event they did,
yeah,
the first place person gets to design the playmat for the next tournament.
Oh, that's cool.
And Ryan's actually the person that does the artwork. He's a really talented artist.
Wow, and really good at Magic.
Yeah, and he actually won the last Legacy charity event,
mm-hmm,
and decided that he's going to do a Vault Scourge playmat. Because he thinks it's funny that a bunch of Legacy players are going to have to walk home with a Vault Scourge playmat.
Yep. That's awesome.
So, enough about, talking about Ryan. Like I said, he's a great guy, but let's talk about his list, which is what a lot of people want to hear about. So, it's pretty traditional Affinity, 4 Ravagers, 2 Etched Champions, your 2 Memnites, your 4 Ornithopters, your 4 Overseers, your 4 Vault Scourges, your 16 lands, and 4 Dark Steels. He has a Plains as his basic, which we'll get to here in a second. 4 Blink Moth, 4 Ink Moth, and 3 Spires. 4 Cranial Plating, 4 Springleaf Drum, 3 Welding Jars, which is high for a Welding Jar count, but
I can't beat that fucking card.
I understand it. It's really good in the meta right now.
It's so goddamn good.
2 Galvanic Blast, which is normally a 4 of, but we'll get to the other card he's splashing a color for, and then 4 Mox Opal. So now the new cards in the deck are 3 Ginger Brute, which took the place of the Signal Pests in the deck.
I was thinking Overseers.
No, he has 4 Overseers.
Yep, okay, got it.
So I talked to him about it because I was like, well, isn't Signal Pest, one of the better cards because, Anthem's your board.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a lot of damage. And he said, yes, it's really good, but the fact that this card's pseudo-unblockable, he literally said it's just unblockable in Modern. Because all the decks with haste creatures can't afford to take the time off and keep their creature back to block this. You're not going to keep a Goblin Guide back against Affinity, are you?
Can't. You don't have
Can't
time.
keep a Swift Spear back against them,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bloodbraid Elf is the only creature that might, stay back.
Yeah.
So this card's pseudo unblockable. And it's also just a good Burn is a pretty close matchup.
Yeah.
But this card gains you a little bit of extra life, which is good. And then the other card, which is the new card from Throne of Eldraine, is All That Glitters. It's a white and a colorless for an enchantment aura. You enchant a creature, and then it gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. So essentially this is Cranial Plating's 5 through 8. You only get to equip it once, but if you ever equip a Vault Scourge with it and attack a burn opponent, they're going to die. Because notably, this, unlike Cranial Plating, buffs toughness also. Yeah. So if you ever put this on the Vault Scourge, you're never gonna kill it.
GG.
Yeah. Sideboard, nothing really new, other than a one of Deafening Silence, which is just, another one of those you can only cast one spell turn effects. So
I love that it's one CMC.
yeah,
I think we're gonna see a growth in that card. I really think it's gonna see a growth in sideboards throughout the years.
Maybe it's awkward because like Aethersworn Canonist is non-artifact. Non-creature is pretty specific, so you have to not have a lot of spells in your deck. I actually I'm really curious, and I want to talk to him about why he chose this over like an Aethersworn Canonist. Maybe it's just because it doesn't die to like the traditional artifact hate.
Yeah. Cool.
But
That's
yeah,
a
that
cool
list is really cool.
I think Steve will be excited because he's been so down about how bad Affinity's been as of late, and now he's got a list that he can go by.
Yeah, you just gotta get him off his old list,
Oh yeah.
I know he hates changing things.
Well,
so.
he was playing Stoneforge Mystic
was he?
like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he was just playing the Stoneforge package, and he didn't really he felt it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So now he gets to play a better card in that.
All that glitters.
Yeah, all the glitters. Yeah.
Is gold.
It's gold, baby.
So we'll move on to the Modern Classic next, where we see Amulet Titan taking it down again. Also, this one not with Once Upon a Time. Maybe, maybe he just didn't pick up the cards, or maybe he thinks it's better not to. But
yeah, he was on the Karn package.
Yeah, might just have been an older list.
Yeah, a lot of times too. You got to remember that you're gonna play sometimes the things that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's not always about like, oh man, I gotta hurry up and get these cards because they just came out. I know they're gonna be great. Sometimes you just kind of like, I don't feel good about it yet, and I'm on my list, and I'm gonna smush people with my list. So.
Exactly. Then we got Eldrazi Tron in second. Cheerios taking third place. This is always one of those decks that just will come out of nowhere sometimes and just sneak a tournament.
Same thing with God, what's the other deck? Adnaz.
Mm-hmm.
Adnaz will get you too sometimes.
Your favorite burn is in fourth place. Pretty stock burn list in my opinion.
Yeah, it's super stock. You got even the sideboard's super stock. Looks
yeah,
good.
Just typical burn 75. Tron in fifth. Infect in sixth. Mono Red Prowess in seventh, and then Selesnya Eldrazi in eighth. So,
what's the Mono Red Prowess deck looking like?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this list. I don't really like the Kiln Fiends.
I can't beat Bedlam Reveler, by the way.
That card's great.
That card's nutty, buddies. Are you playing some of those?
Yeah.
Or just one?
I have two.
You have two also?
Yeah. This is ridiculous. There's no reason to play 22 lands in this deck.
No, there's not. Maybe was that a miss? Was that a miss, Brett?
No.
He just likes them lands.
I guess.
18 mountains and 4 fiery islets.
Yeah, I flood out at 18 lands in this deck, so
I like the one of Teamer Battle Rage. That's pretty cool.
It's cute. I don't know. I'm not huge on this guy's list. I think Crash Through is one of the better cards in the deck, so only playing 2 doesn't make sense. The random Merchant of the Veil, I don't know. It's just his deck list is all over the place. His sideboard's weird, Magmatic Sinkhole seems odd to me.
Yeah.
Skull Cracks are pretty weird for this deck. Smashes over Braids are an interesting choice, so.
Okay. I like the Shrine of Burning Rage on the side, though. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's pretty common in the deck.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the deck is very powerful, and I really, really enjoy it. Check out our video on our YouTube channel. I actually 5-0'd with the deck, so. If you want to see the list that I prefer and tend to lean towards with that deck, you can check it out there. But now we're going to move on to some Legacy.
Ooh, baby.
My deck of choice was in the first place seat in the Open with an interesting choice and something I'm going to have to try. I don't really know about the Hooting Mandrills.
Hooty-hoo!
But they are going back to the Stifle version of the deck, which I kind of like. I really enjoyed the Stifle lists.
Yeah, I talked to Josiah about this, about him playing Stifle versus not Stifle.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that I believe he said he wasn't 100% sure which he liked more. Because, of course, who doesn't like stifling shit?
Yeah.
What is the replacement for Stifle? I can't remember.
You just play a bunch of like better cards.
You just play, and then of course you play more Hex Drinker. You play the 2 Hex Drinkers, right?
I don't play Hex Drinker. I'm on the Arcanists. You either play Hex Drinker or Arcanist though.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of Hootings, you play like an extra Renin 6, and you play some True Names in the main.
Got it.
So you're just your cards that are good at like pretty much all the points of the game. Hence why the deck's called NBC for no bad cards.
Mm-hmm.
To where like Stifle can be awkward at some points, for
Yeah,
example.
it can.
Uh,
It's probably the weakest card in the deck, I would say.
yeah, for sure. Naya Loam in the hands of Zan Syed took second place. This is the same list he played in Syracuse. Zan's always on something spicy, so
Yeah.
pretty cool with him. Then we see some more Teamer Delver, some Jeskai Mentor, some Storm. Allurin is really cool that it got top 8 because this is a legacy deck not many people talk about or really play anymore. So to see this deck come back is really cool. I always like to learn. I think it's a really cool combo deck.
Yeah, and I was asking Richie before the podcast. I was like, man, I need to learn how Lauren works because I just do my best to land a pillar effect and just go on and kill him.
I mean, yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, and that's.
But they just win by like bouncing these two back and forth and draining you out.
Yeah.
And then we have another Teamer Delver and a Dredge deck that top 8'd. So
David Long.
Dredge is one of those decks I always feel can like sneak a legacy tournament and not many people would expect it.
Yeah, I think the grinders and they know like Dredge is there.
Yeah.
You know.
We are gonna hop over, as I was mentioning, we're gonna bounce between things. The 18th place in the team event was also Teamer Delver, but it was playing an interesting tech as a one of Oko in the main, which is something I was talking to Josh before we went live today, and something I really want to test. I like the idea of Oko and Legacy as pretty much every threat you're going to be able to steal with his ultimate, or his quote-unquote ultimate.
Yeah, because it goes off after the first time you use it.
Yeah. And, like, being able to just, like, turn a Merit Lage into a 3-3 is pretty good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, Oko and Legacy, something to keep your eye out for.
I think what you're really going to see happen is you're probably going to get a Tarmogoyf is my guess for the most part, or something that, because like I was telling you, the end of turn Merit Liege token is usually how you're going to go about it.
Yeah, but sometimes they can't let you untap.
Yeah.
If you have like a wasteland.
Yep.
So we're gonna be interested to see in that. And then for the classic, lands actually like lands.
Casey
took
Lancaster.
first place.
Click on that guy. Let's see how many. Oh baby, look, he's got a whole block.
I actually like watched one of this guy's games. He I guess he's like the known lands guy.
He looks like the master.
Field of the Dead is a new iteration into the deck.
You know it.
They're splashing black now apparently for I think it was Abrupt Decay in the sideboard. And then he was on the one of Mana Bond because he actually was saying that like it with Field of the Dead is pretty nutty. Mm-hmm. If you just like drop 6 lands into play and activate your Field of the Dead, you get 6 zombies on turn 1.
Good God.
And then just like a Sylvan Library and then your traditional land package.
Yeah.
This deck's been in Legacy forever,
Yeah, this deck's great. I love this deck. I played this deck for probably almost a year.
Really?
I was so bad at it though. It was just it's a very intricate deck and it's very hard to pilot because you're letting your lands do all the work, and it's not traditional and your brain just has to wrap around it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you also have to own a Tabernacle. So.
Yeah, and you got to own a Tabernacle, which back then when I was playing it, hoes didn't want me, but now they're all on me. So, but yeah, I had a Tabernacle, and they were like $400.
Okay,
right? You could get them for pretty cheap.
Not the like 2Gs they are now, where they're like top in power level, or like I think Tabernacle is literally more than some Power 9.
Oh, it is. Like, I mean, just your basic shitter Tabernacle is between $16 and $2,000.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was in Vegas, I was buying power for $1,500. So, yeah, you can't really buy a Tabernacle for less than power, less than a Mox.
It's crazy.
Very crazy.
Never thought you'd say that, huh?
I mean, I understand it, but doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah. So second place was Selesnya Depths. Third place is Turbo Depths. We got Storm taking fourth place, which, cool to see this deck still kicking. Echo of Aeons in the sideboard.
That's great.
Really like that card. Temur Delver in fifth, 4-color Delver in sixth, 4-color Control in seventh, and Temur Delver in eighth. And then something I want to talk about is actually this Turbo Depths list that got third place. It is also playing 4 copies of Once Upon a Time. So we're seeing this card in all the formats at this point.
And that's what we talked about.
Yep.
You know, I had said last week, I said, what do you think this is going to do for Legacy? And it's doing something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this sticks or if, the guy was just trying it for fun.
Yeah, I mean, it took third place, so of course, you can run this deck without that card in it. Well, we just don't know the power level of it.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying. I don't know if this is gonna stick or if it was just a week one fun of kind of thing,
Yeah, I'd like to hear somebody's take on it that did well with it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I saw a burn down there too.
Yeah, there's actually a good amount of burn because of it winning the
You took 15th place?
or no, not winning, but it did well at the
took 4th at the
Magic Fest. There we go. Yeah. Pretty sure it's just the exact same list.
Yeah. No, he's running Ensnaring Bridges, Fairy Macabres.
He doesn't have the whatchamacallit on the sideboard, the Skewer the Critics.
No, the one of he said, no, I'm not going to play the one of Skewer the Critics. And then there's Surgical, Fairy Macabre, and Tormod's Crypt Splits with it still playing Ensnaring Bridge. So it's these sideboards, I think, going forward are going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if I can actually maybe post a list.
How'd your new tech do, by the way?
I didn't get to use it.
Why not?
I didn't get to play against any 2020s.
That's dumb.
I know. I wish. I actually I may have got to play against 2020s and I never drew it. I'd have to run the tape back.
We'll save it for a story when you get to use it, though.
I want a Deflecting Palm, a 2020.
Real bad.
Great. Yeah, it'll be really good.
But yeah, that
maybe at Eternal Weekend I get my list posted.
Maybe.
And then I'm the man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, that's about it for the results and how Throne of Eldraine's doing. So
yeah, I think it's going to continue.
I'm excited to see how this set pushes formats moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue to impact all formats.
I think so too. I think it was a very powerful set, and I like to see that. I like to see that they're not scared to push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean some of the sets previous to this have been kind of shitters.
Mm-hmm.
Standard wise, and then now they're printing cards like it's Emery, right? Is that the blue one?
Emery.
Yeah, and that it can be a vintage card, can be a modern card. That's good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she does to vintage.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So, I know we kind of did things out of order because, like I said, we grouped results with our main topic. So
absolutely.
Next, we're gonna hop over and talk about the upcoming events, which, like we said at the beginning, you and I are gonna be at Indy this weekend.
Yeah, buddy.
So hopefully we'll see you guys there, battling some moderns. Hopefully not against one another though. Otherwise, we'll have to take you down.
God, absolutely. And if you want to play Modern and Legacy this weekend, well, you're shit out of luck because it's a Modern Standard. Womp, womp, womp.
Remember when you went to one of these expecting there to be a Legacy Classic and there wasn't?
Yeah.
You just wanted to dino some people?
Yeah, I was really hoping to dino back then, but
that was Cleveland, I think, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Because you brought the gym in, man.
I did.
The other event, which we're not going to talk too much about as per usual, because who cares about limited results?
Well, listen, I believe we have to at least pretend like we care now because we have a limited streamer on Mondays.
Yeah, but I don't. She even cares about what limited deck did good.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't know what limited players care about.
Well, shout out to Brenda. She's our new streamer. Brenda
Shout
is
out
bored.
to Utrick.
You can find her at Brenda is bored on
Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah. So give her a follow.
Maybe Brenda will be in Utrick.
She might go to Utrecht. I don't know. Or maybe she's going to Bangkok or Phoenix.
Or Montreal. Wait a minute.
A lot of limited coming up, you guys. So if you're looking to go to a Magic Fest to play Magic, bring your decks because you're playing some side events.
Or don't bring your decks and play limited in the main.
Oof. Miserable.
Or just go to SCGs.
Yeah, absolutely. SCGs are going to be lit.
Yeah. You know what else is lit?
Finance.
Paradoxical outcome.
Oh man. So finance this week. Let's get it started.
Yeah.
Paradoxical outcome. That is the #1 weekly winner.
It's jumping, baby.
Well, this was actually what from I want to say this guy that does this. He put out 2. I think he was just backed up, and he put 2 out. So of course.
Do you think he's off the toilet if he was backed up?
Maybe. Not sure. He could be off. But Paradoxical Outcome is going to be up. It's at $5 right now. Who knows if it should probably creep up a little bit more if this deck does well.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Kaladesh
got yeah, because it had the inventions in it.
Yeah,
so.
a metric fuck ton of these got open.
Like this card was 50 cents before, so.
Yeah, and a lot of promos. They had a lot of promos get dumped out into the wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's you should pick those up.
Yeah.
They were 50 cents. Now they $5, and that's all because of Louis Scott Vargai, the old Varg master. And if you go to
still doing it.
Yeah, he's still doing it. If you guys go to the mtgstocks.com page that we use every week, you can actually find the link to his video and where he does he just talk about the deck or does he plays it? Okay, cool. Yeah, so he's gonna give you a good run through.
This was before Emery though.
Yeah, because I see Aetherflux Reservoir in there.
Yeah.
And that card's no longer needed.
Nope.
You just kill motherfuckers instead.
Yeah, you could play it instead of the Nexus if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just a win con.
Yeah, flavor. Also, we've still got some night action. The Knights they're up and coming. And Knight of the Eben Legion. So
I also think this one might have to do with standard. This card, it's really good in like the questing beast decks. It's just like it's like the best 1-drop we have in standard.
Yeah,
like this, like the standard Goblin Guide.
Yeah, it's a vampire. It's a knight, and it's 1 black for a 1/2. You pay 3, and it gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. So that is really powerful, very powerful. So this guy's at $11 right now. I don't see this thing staying at $11.
It has more text too, though.
Yeah, at the bottom it says, at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. Okay.
This guy's really good.
He gets even better.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh. Yeah, Knight Tribal, of course, they put the old link under there. So, number 3 on the list this week is Oko, Thief of Crowns, and of course, we sat and talked about him for the past 30 minutes about how powerful this guy is. It's going to be a mainstay in Standard until it rotates. It's finding its way into Modern, and it's getting results, and it's also getting results in Legacy.
Poking a little bit up in all the formats.
Yeah.
I even think this card could see Vintage play, just because you like turn Moxes into 3/3s, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a card, man. It's a good card. I didn't think it was going to be as powerful, but we'll see. See how long it lasts. And it's at what, $36?
Yeah.
What do you think about the price of this thing?
It's like what it pre-released at. You know, maybe it goes up more. Comparing with deck is hard. Yeah, but it's also green instead of red, so you know, maybe different colors. I know not every vintage deck plays, you know, all the colors in the rainbow, so.
Thanks for stopping by, Aaron. Aaron says that he thinks that competing with Dak Faden in the 3-drop slot is kind of difficult, but yeah, I mean, you're not always on that dig plan, right? You're not always in those colors. I also believe that this card is no Dak Faden, right? I think the power level of Dak Faden is better.
I don't think so.
I think
this card does so much more. Like
it could be apples and oranges. Maybe this guy has a little bit of an upside on Dak Faden.
Yeah,
but I believe that this card is still going to be
sure. Dak is probably better in vintage, but I think Oko's the better card.
All right, so what do we got for cheap pickups?
Carney T, baby.
Carney T. Yeah, so this guy's great for your EDH dinosaur deck. Also, If you want to play a one of in Modern because you really like to party, I guess you could pick this thing up at $6, right?
Yeah, you could.
Maybe. So then we've got
I think that
also
card
another
might go
low
down, though.
of in that Leyline of the Void is that $11. Yeah, and I think Leyline of Sanctities are like $3 or $4.
Oh, no, I don't. I think Carnage Tyrant's going down. I think Void is probably like a decent buy right now.
I think it's a good buy, but I think it has some room to go down just because it's going to be opened.
Sanctity is a little more fringe than Veil, I think, or than Void.
Void.
Void Veil.
Yeah,
Void.
I mean, I believe that this has a little bit of room to move down.
I see this
Maybe
card
not a
going
ton.
back up to like $20 eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you've got your Leovold. We ran out of stuff to put in there. This gentleman this week again is now back bottomed out at $7.70
From what, like
the $7.71. Yeah, that it was the previous week. So, I'm not sure really who's playing Leovold. I know the one of player that played Aloran was playing it. So if you're going to play Aloran, you might want to pick this up.
Yeah, this is one of those cards I don't think, like, it's got to find its spot again, for it to do good.
So we've also got, they put up a Barons list, right?
Mm-hmm. Josh's
Barons.
favorite.
Yeah, I talked about this guy before. I'm not sure about this guy. I'd like to meet him. He seems kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I
thought you said you were going to try to meet him at Vegas.
I was going to try to meet him at Vegas, but I didn't see him. So I'll have to, I don't know, find out where he lives and go to his house like around midnight and knock on the door.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he'd like that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So Kinsbale Cavalier. Of course, this is the Knight uptick.
It's the double striker.
Yeah, so. It gives all your knights double strike. So it went from $2 to $7. So
no surprise on that one.
No surprise. Edric, Spymaster of Trest, where the old elf rogue that.
Why did this guy go up?
Well, whenever one of your creatures deals combat damage, you're going to draw a card. So this guy's always been powerful. Reason being, there's got to be some type of new deck. It's just like whenever we find these unblockable 1/1s for 1, you're like, why is this thing a quarter?
I mean, yeah, but like, why is it going up now?
Probably just some new hype. Yeah. Maybe some Throne of Eldraine hype, but I don't really know.
Or I know, like, what?
Yeah. Could be from one of the commander decks.
Could be.
Drafna's Restoration went from $1 to $14. So this is a weird one. But we talked about this last week.
There was a card that this went with. I think it was Emery.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
There's a combo for this card. Mox Ambers.
Also because of Emery.
Yeah, so this is one of the things that I actually wanted to talk about for finance, and I'm glad it's on here. People continue to ask me for this card for probably the last 2 weeks, ever since the Emery talk started. And this card, I believe, will continue to go up. Also, if Richie is correct in that there is a Mox Opal band, well, what do you think the price of Mox Amber is going to do? Right? So be careful with this card. If you think it going from $10 to $25 is crazy, think again. It can double, if not go up to maybe take the spot of Mox Opal. So if they do a ban,
I don't know that it hit like the hundreds.
If they do a ban,
this is a lot more recent of a set than ours. We don't really see $100 cards anymore in recent sets.
So we got Phyrexian Dreadnought, and with the only thing that anybody could think of was the mono blue Stifle Knot deck that I played against online about 3 weeks ago. It is.
I still think it might just be because of a buyout.
Yeah, it could be. This card went from $34 to $60. So if you 100% need to play this card, well, you better pick it up because I don't see this card going back down.
It's reserve list.
It is reserve
Things
list.
aren't going down from reserve list.
The Baron's losers, so we're going to get into the losers, and he's saying that Aria Flame is down, and it's going to keep going down. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think this card is just maybe falling out of favor right now because of the meta shift. I think this card
it doesn't really have a home anymore because of Phoenix going away.
I think eventually this card will find a home. So maybe it goes down to, I don't see it going down to $1, but maybe it does.
Nah, I think like the $2 to $5 range is probably where it'll be.
We got Storm Cauldron. That's down from $7 to $5. Probably just one of those spikes that is starting to kind of taper off.
Could be.
And also Empowered Auto Generator, another card that's recently came out in C19, went from $10 to $6. And you've got Old Godsire, and this is one of the ones that we talked about, which was like,
yeah, I think we said to wait on this.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Please don't buy this card. Well, it went from $28 to $18, so it's starting to come back to life.
I think we said the same with this card too.
Yes, Dioshan, Artful Beauty. Is that how you say that?
Yeah,
Dioshan. Yeah. This is the Commander 1 set, which was also a Portals.
and also a
Commander's Arsenal.
Commander. No, not Anthology's Arsenal.
Yeah, it was a Commander Arsenal, and so that spiked. It went up to $80 from $8, so 8 to 80, and then now it's starting to come back down.
It actually shows it at like 100.
Yeah, let's see where it spiked at. Oh, it spiked at 150. It topped out. Wow,
Nice.
That's wild. Yeah, so that's it for finance this week, and also the recap for Throne of Eldraine, which we wanted to show you guys. Like, hey, we're gonna give you a list. This is what we think. And then we, like Richie said, we also missed some cards.
Mm-hmm.
There were cards that we didn't think were going to be as powerful as they were. So if you guys want to do yourself a favor and keep up with us and also help us out, give us some feedback anytime you want. You can find me at Mom's Basement MTG on Twitter. Give us a follow. We're getting up there. Finally cracked the 320 mark.
Nice.
Yeah. And,
Give it a week.
Yeah, give it a week. They'll hate my spamming.
Yeah.
And also you can find Richie at Richard T MTG.
Yeah.
So follow him. He's still crack-a-lacking on those followers and putting out some good content for you guys. Like I said, he's talking about his 5-0 last week. And I've been 3-2ing. So don't be afraid to watch Daddy play some Burn. It's not the worst thing you're going to do during the day, right? You're not going to watch me 1-4 anymore, I hope.
Hopefully.
Oh, I just cursed myself.
Might if you try that new burn list.
I just cursed myself for next week.
Are you streaming this week still, or are you going to be in Indy?
No, so this week I'll probably stream, maybe I'll stream like Thursday or something like that. But yeah, because we're going to Indy, I'm not going to have time to stream. I mean, I'd have to start streaming at like 9 a.m. So I think I'm going to...
Pitter patter.
Yeah, I think I might cash out the stream on Friday, but I'll definitely get you guys some content this week. But yeah, also don't forget about our giveaway that we talked about earlier and how to win that. And please do yourself a favor and catch us next week. We will be on. Catch me outside. We'll be on Monday next week, right?
Yeah.
And we try to be on every Monday at 5:30 live on Twitch.
Sometimes life happens.
Yeah, sometimes, Richie doesn't like going to bed at 3 in the morning and then having to be up at work, a couple hours later.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys, we appreciate you, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios. See ya.